What's up, guys? It's LetTheSparksFly22 here, and this was a battle on Pokemon Online, and this is the first time I've actually battled someone that I actually know offline in a actual competitive battle. So this is kind of interesting, and he's been kind of wanting to get into the metagame for a while. He was pretty big, reading Smogon forums, and so he's pretty aware of, I guess, the way the metagame, I guess, but he's not really used to it since he hasn't really ever played all that much. I was helping him build a team, and he just kind of got a little bit overwhelmed and decided he wanted to quit. And then to top it all off, Pokemon Online wasn't even working for him. So just a few days ago, he decided he wanted to try it again, and he downloaded Pokemon Online, and he asked for team help again. I'm like, you know what, you should probably just do it on your own this time. It's probably won't be as overwhelming for you with so much information right away. So he made his own team, and I'm expecting it to be pretty heavy on a standard, Smogon team. Not necessarily pure OU or anything, but at least some standard sets. So yeah, that's what I was expecting. And since he challenged me, there actually is no team preview for this, and I was thinking there was pretty much the whole match, which kind of affected my moves I did. So anyway, he's going to lead off with a Tyranitar for Sand. So I guess he has a Sandstorm team. And with my Torkoal, I know I can take a hit pretty well, so I yawn right away. And now I'm going to Rapid Spin because I don't want those Stealth Rocks up. And I was expecting him to switch, but he goes for a Stone Edge, and that does 57%, which is freaking massive for a Tyranitar. So that means he probably doesn't run a whole lot of bulk. And he has a Lumberry, which was really, really interesting. So now I'm forced to switch out to my Politoed, who can just take hits neutrally and live against this thing. This is probably going to be my main check to it. So right away I go for a Confuse Ray, because that's what I like to do, whether they stay in or switch. And so now I'm predicting that he'll use a electric move, but I was going to switch to Jolteon, and I was like, no, because he might predict that, but then I remembered there was no team preview. So he sets up a sub anyway, so that shows he's probably going to be a Charge Beam, sub-Charge Beam set. So he switches out. I was not expecting that. Never waste a good sub, quote from Xerxes, and I follow that. And I mean, it is pretty common for most people to follow that, but he goes right on out, I guess, because he couldn't set up with his Charge Beam. So that's going to force me to switch to Skarmory when he goes to Tyranitar. And I'm going to be able to take advantage of that and set up a free layer of spikes. And he brings in his Blissey, which was really weird. I was thinking maybe he wanted to paralyze, and I was like, this thing can't do anything to me. And I was like, well, maybe it's a flamethrower set. Those are kind of rare, though. And I was like, well, he brought it in, Whether he goes for the T-Wave or the flamethrower, Umbreon is probably the better thing to go to. So I do go to Umbreon. And I was right. I'm glad I went with my instinct on that flamethrower, and I'm going to wish as he Toxics, which is just fine because now he's Toxic, and I'm going to be able to Heal Bell it off. And of course, he's packing the Aromatherapy as well, so pretty much he wasted a turn poisoning me, and then we both healed it off. So I'm willing to let that go on because that means I get a free turn when he tries to Toxic. And he does it again, which was kind of weird. I guess he wasn't really thinking that it allows me to get a free wish off every time he wants to do that. So I switch right on out to my Torkoal. I figure it's a perfect opportunity to get him back up to health. And so he goes for Aromatherapy. I'm not really worried about Umbreon being Toxic. Since he's at full health, I think I can bring it in later and Heal Bell it off. So now he's going to be forced to switch as I'm going to yawn, and I know I can take a hit from this Tyranitar, and he'll fall asleep this time, so I'm not worried about that. I put up my Stealth Rocks, and now I'm doing pretty good. I'm in the lead. I got one layer of Spikes, Stealth Rock, and his Tyranitar is asleep. So now I'm going to switch out to my Mineshaw, and I was kind of like, High Jump Kick is probably really predictable. maybe he has a ghost type. So I scroll up and it doesn't show the team, so I don't know if he has a ghost type. So I just decided to go for it, and I guess I should have saw that coming because, like I said, he reads all kinds of forums, and he is pretty big on making sure that he has the stuff that was pretty much like said you had to have for a team, earlier on, like a spin blocker. And like in today's metagame, they're not as common, but I know he probably feels that it needs to happen just because of the forums he reads and stuff, and he's not as experienced with the metagame. So I guess I probably should have seen that coming, but I did not. I just decided to go with it anyway. So he made a good prediction there. Very nicely done. And so I'm going to U-turn out, and he's going to Earthquake. That's going to allow me to get off a free Wish and Heal Bell, as he brings in his Tyranitar, which is asleep, so I'm not scared of this at all. And so I'm going to go right on back out to Mineshaw, and I'm predicting that he's going to, like, I go to Mineshaw to get some Regenerator, and I'm predicting that he's going to switch out again, but he doesn't. He stays in that time. But U-turn still almost KOs. It does 49% due to the fact that he's not running like any bulk at all. So I'm going to scare him out there with my Melodic, and I just go straight for the Scald there, knowing I can hit his Magnezone pretty good if he decides to switch that in, knowing that I can take out his Tyranitar. So he goes for his sub, and that's the last sub he's going to be putting up, unless he manages to stay alive for a few turns. And again, he switches out to his Tyranitar to take the hidden power. So I'm pretty sure he's running a Charge Beam set there. And I guess, this is a Specs Jolteon, but I guess since it missed, it allowed me to switch moves, which is kind of weird. So I go out to Mineshaw, expecting him to Calm Mind. It was a really bad play. I wasn't really sure what I was thinking there. Probably, definitely should not have done that. But expecting the Calm Mind first, and I decided that it was best to just sack his sack my Mineshaw, because I know this thing can hit pretty hard, and I don't want it to have any turns to set up or do some damage. So I guess I just decided to sack Mineshaw. I know he's really great, and he could probably do some damage later on, but I don't feel I actually need him all that bad. So I sack him, and I go into Politoed, and I confuse first, and his Psychic does a massive amount of damage, 45%. I definitely was not expecting that, which means he's probably running a heck of a lot of special attack investment, probably does not even have Calm Mind, and is made to just Trick Room and go right on out and sweep. So anyway, I go to my Umbreon now, because I know he's going to try and Psychic again, but he hurts himself in Confusion, and lucky for me, he hurts himself in Confusion again. That was the turn that really mattered, and my payback is going to be able to take him out since he's not running max defense like most Calm Mind sets do. So now in comes Infernape, and I know my Torkoal's at pretty good health and can take it, but it does not. He powers through, he gets a crit, and I was kind of thinking that mattered at first, at the time, but, after seeing what happens later on in the match, I don't know. So he's going to be forced to switch out as I set up a layer of spikes, and I know he's going to switch out. So I go right out onto Umbreon again, and he's going to go for the Toxic. So that's nice, because like I said, it gives me a free turn, free switch in, and I'm going to be able to Heal Bell, and he brings out Infernape again, which I was just like, oh no. It was a good play, and it's pretty much what any experienced player would do, but I just wasn't expecting him to do it since he's so new to the metagame. So I go to Skarmory. I know he's going to Flare Blitz. I have nothing on my team that can take a hit from him at all, and it's super effective, KOs, even without a crit. And so that is what makes me kind of wonder if that crit really mattered on Torkoal at all. So anyway, I Thunderbolt, and I get the Paralysis, and he heals it off. So now I'm going to be forced to switch, and I go out to Politoed as he Toxics, which is just fine by me. I plan on going out to Heal Bell soon anyway. So now I'm going to just recover, and that'll get me up to health that I kind of like. I'm not going to go full health, because I don't want Toxic building up, and I feel that would just kind of be a wasted turn, allow him to have one turn to do whatever he wants. So I go out onto Jolteon now, just because I thought his Infernape was still alive. I didn't realize it died from Life Orb. So I pretty much keep going to Jolteon every single turn, just because I'm afraid that his Infernape will come in, and if I don't have Jolteon in, then he's going to be taking something out on my team. Which, I wasn't really thinking all that well. I'm thinking about it now, and it is most definitely choice banded, and that means it probably has Mach Punch, so he probably would have taken out my Jolteon. I guess it was like, I don't know what was up with this match. Like, I don't know what time it was. I don't think it was that late, but I just wasn't thinking clearly at all. So I Volt Switch on out to Umbreon, and he's going to Toxic again. Not a problem, I wish. And he Soft Boils, and I'm kind of like, hey, what if he has Seismic Toss? And I was like, I think I know his whole moveset. I don't think he has Seismic Toss, so I know I can take a hit. And he goes for the Flamethrower to show he doesn't have it. So that's going to give me my Wish back. And I'm going to Wish again this turn, I believe. And he's going to Flamethrower. And I'm just going to take that like a boss. He doesn't really want to Toxic himself. I'm thinking he ran out of aromatherapies right now. So I go to Jolteon, take it back, and he Toxics, I guess, expecting this. So that was a good play. He really wanted Toxic on my Jolteon. I could tell. I mean, he Toxicked every time it was in. So I'm just going to Volt Switch again, because I'm only sending him in just in case Infernape comes in, which is dead. And even if it wasn't dead, it would die upon entry due to my hazards anyway. So I was really paranoid about that, and I feel really stupid for being paranoid about that, but I was. So he's going to Toxic again, but I'm just going to switch right on out because I'm paranoid as hell from this Infernape. So I'm going to Volt Switch and go right on out again, bring in my Umbreon, and he's going to Flamethrower, and I'm going to Wish this off. I know Umbreon can take it, so, I mean, it's a pretty dull part. So he Toxics and misses, so, I mean, it's not like the hit matters. I've got like 4 or 5 Heal Bells left. So I just pay back, let him Toxic me, and I'm going to get that Wish back. So now, he's losing his health, and it's pretty good for me. I'm going to Heal Bell, and he Soft Boils, so that I was kind of weird that he didn't Heal Bell there. Or Aromatherapy, I should say. It's kind of weird that he didn't Aromatherapy. I was expecting that. So I go right on up to Jolteon as he Soft Boils again. And if he's out of Aromatherapies, he probably should have switched out to reset his Toxic counter at some point. But I go right on out to my Milotic, and his Toxic misses for the second time. So his Toxic is taking him down pretty well. And he's getting Toxic now, and that's going to take him down to very low XP. He probably should have either switched out or Soft Boiled there. So now that he's at 5%, I'm pretty sure my Politoed can just Scald and take that out. And so now in comes his Dusknoir, which with Toxic on my Politoed, I'm not sure I can take, but I go ahead and confuse it before I switch on out of there. He gets off a Pain Split. That's going to give him some good health, 53%, and it's going to take me down, especially with the Toxic. So he's going to Shadow Sneak this turn, and I'm going to go out to Umbreon, who takes that like a boss, obviously, because Umbreon is a boss. So I Heal Bell now, just so my Politoed can take it. Looking to Scald it, burn it. That way it does less damage and takes damage over time, which would be helpful taking out this Dusknoir. So I Wish again, and now I just switch right on out, I believe, to my Politoed, and my Politoed gets some health back. He Pain Splits, and I don't think it does anything. So now I'm going to confuse him again. It was perfect timing. I came in as his confusion ended, and he's going to hurt himself in confusion again. He hit himself in confusion quite a few times, it didn't really matter at all, honestly. But I mean, it's just kind of still unlucky. So, um, he's going to Earthquake, and that's not going to do anything to max defense Melodic, obviously. And I'm going to Scald, take that out, and that's the game. And so, yeah, good game. Uh, that was fun. You definitely surprised me with how good you are for being so new to the metagame. He has barely had any battles at all, and he managed to take out 3 of my Pokemon, which was pretty good. It was definitely an off game for me, but it surprised me at his experience level nonetheless. I actually almost brought in a Seaking just because I felt like trolling him and being a douche, but I decided, nah, he's new to the metagame, don't want to frustrate him and get him out if I do manage to pull off a Seaking sweep, but instead I went with Mineshaw, um, and of course he managed to take that out. So I don't think he would have had a problem with Seaking, but yeah, he definitely surprised me. I was expecting an extremely easy win, but he definitely proved me wrong there. So yeah, good game. If you like this battle, please comment, like, and subscribe. See y'all later. Goodbye.